Hello everybody and welcome back to Conor here. You've got another video, guys. Unbelievable content, yeah. Anyway, hope you're doing really well. Salford City 0, Leeds United 3. A good performance from the Whites, changes throughout. I'm not going to touch on every single change and all this sort of thing. I'm not going to go through the substitutions and all this sort of stuff really in depth. I'm just going to go a little brief overview on the game because obviously it's a cup competition. It's not as in depth as the league. But listen, 3-0 win. It's a really strong second half performance. I thought the first half was pretty poor. The first 45 minutes, I thought it really was poor from Leeds United. We didn't really get into the game. They were just sitting back. It was a lot of the Forest analytics, really. They were sitting back, hitting us on the counter-attack, and I thought it was becoming a little bit predictable from Leeds United. It was side to side. Alioski was getting the ball, continuously crossing the ball in for a 5'8" Nketiah, who was never going to win anything like that. It was a built-up frustration from me watching the game because it's never going to come to fruition. That tactic is never going to come to fruition. You've got a guy up front who feeds on low whip crosses, and all we're doing is putting high balls in, and it was a continuous thing from Alioski, and that is where you need to use your football IQ. If you can see there's a 5'8" lad in the box competing with 6'5" lads, 6'5" brutish lads who play in League Two, who know how to head the ball very well. They come against physical competition week in, week out. So what do you do there? You drive the ball in. You try play it infield. You pass it to your Click. You pass it to your Shackleton to play it into the penalty box and create chances like that. Instead of doing the predictable crossing the ball in, it's absolutely food and dinner for centre halves, that sort of thing. And I felt they were counter-attacking a little bit. You look at the first 25, 30 minutes, a lot of it was Salford, just getting the ball and counter-attacking. Leeds had a lot of possession, but we weren't really doing anything with it. There was a couple of blown efforts from Calvin Phillips, and he had a really good one just before half-time. But it was, Salford were doing the thing that we've seen before. Hold. Leeds commit men forward and then we'll break. We saw a lot of that. And it got a little bit concerning at one point. As you thought, where are going to Leeds be able to break, the rear guard down here? But Leeds' quality did shine through in the end. Phillips, I didn't think he had a great game. I thought a lot of his passing was going a little bit astray. Normally we're used to such crisp passing from Calvin, but I feel he was giving it away a little bit. He grew in the second half as the team did, really. But I've noted down here with Alioski, the persistence of the cross into the box was really frustrating, and for me, Alioski's not up to scratch anymore. He's not up to scratch. I would actually say the same thing for Gaetano Berardi. I know a lot of you guys love Berardi. I love Berardi. Scored a goal. Thank you for that goal, Berardi. I was happy that no one was on the pitch. But at the end of the day, it was a brilliant goal by Berardi. And it's the first time we've scored from a set piece, and I can't remember how long. It's been that long since we're having a lovely little run across and cut in from Berardi to give us that second goal. We'll get into the goals in a second. But I thought, there was 6 fouls given away against their centre forward by Berardi tonight. And I just feel with Cooper, with Ben White, who we'll get onto in a second, Leeds just have the starting two there, and that can't be broken because I feel those two have set such a benchmark in these first 2 games. They've been absolutely exceptional. Liam Cooper's been brilliant. Ben White has been absolutely astronomical in everything Leeds United do. He's been absolutely superb for me. Costa looked frustrated in the first half for me. I thought he looked really frustrated in the first half. They were getting really rough and tumble on him. You could see that throughout the entire game. He obviously built like the whole team did in the second half, but you could see the frustration with Costa. Wasn't getting enough of the ball. Leeds weren't passing. You saw a couple of times him and Clark interchanged. He'd go on the left, vice versa with Clark. He'd go on the right. Thought that really worked. I was really impressed with Jack Clark throughout this game. He's got a feature at some point. He really has. I still think it's a throw-up between him and Harrison. I really do. I really, really like Clark when he's on his game. I think he's better than Harrison when he's on his game, but maybe Harrison gives a little bit more working back. But I think offensively, with Costa and Clark on either wing, we looked a lot stronger. I'd love to see that, and then maybe Pablo and Click in the middle. That's what I'd love to see. That is what I think Leeds should go for from a personal point of view. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But yeah, the first half, I thought there was an obvious reliance on Pablo Hernandez. Leeds weren't able to create anything. I thought Click looked tired again. And I was thinking to myself, is this going to be a continuation, really, of the Forest game? I didn't really know what was going on with regards to Click because, in pre-season he looked so good, but he seems to have started this season on a little bit of a back burner. But once again, another player who in the second half grew very, very well. I thought as well there was a reluctance to shoot from Leeds United. We got into really good positions. Clark, I remember once he turned in on his right foot, expectancy to shoot, have a dig, don't be scared to shoot, because what's the beneficiary of shooting? It's either going to go in the net, going to go over the bar, or the keeper's going to fumble it and it's going to get to a Leeds United player. That's what I always think with shooting. It's always critical when you're in those positions. Just have a go, be confident, have a go. What's the worst that's going to happen? That's what I always think with teams in positions like that, and I thought the first half were a little bit reluctant to shoot. It was interesting with Salford's height as well. In the first half, there was a chance in the 15th and the 30th minute where you had the centre-halves winning the balls, where it was a really good chance. The two headers, one in the 15th and the 30th minute, are obvious deficiencies with height. And what can you do about that? I mean, we've set our stall out. We're going to be playing the ball on the floor. Marcelo doesn't see a problem with the height, so we've just got to deal with that. And, when we need height help, we've got to go to the man in between the sticks, who I will get on in a little bit. But yeah, for me, guys, just on a whole, it's been ruthless, but that's what we need to be to get out of the Championship. Berardi and Alioski, they're not up to the grain. Alioski, I thought he was really, really poor tonight. Really poor. Where he could have really gone out and shown himself, shown a different side to him. Really poor in the formation. The 4-1-4-1, I thought it was poor, looked rigid, was making silly decisions. And for me, it wasn't really good enough from Alioski. Listen, good effort from KP on 35. Clark with a really good effort on 38. We were coming into it a little bit more in the second half, I thought. I thought Leeds were getting shots off, and you could see us in that last 5 minutes, Eddie getting the ball from deep, running inwards, and you could see his little quick interchange. Eddie was becoming a lot more quick. Eddie was becoming a lot more involved, and Leeds started moving. We started getting through the gears as soon as Eddie started getting on the ball, because Eddie was linking up really well with Costa on either side. There was a real understanding between those two. I thought they linked up really well during the game, and for me, that is a partnership that should be a Championship partnership. Week in, week out, lovely, lovely lineup. Really impressed with both of those guys tonight. What I would like to see Leeds do is a custom corner. Instead of it just being the lump ball in the box, which it did work tonight, which I couldn't believe, but it did work tonight. What I would like is maybe a custom corner. You see Brentford do it all the time. Maybe a drilled ball into the front post and a flick on, and then a man coming in, and a training regime. That works. We had that guy, didn't we, who was in doing our free kicks for us. What was his name? I can't remember. We dragged him in. I think it was from Brentford. Obviously that didn't work, but sort of a tactical side of corners. That's what I'd like to see. We're a short team. We're never going to be winning these big balls in the air. There is no point in lumping the balls into the box. Even the goal we scored today, it was a front post. Quick run across from Berardi. Nice little tap in the corner of the net. So I think we need to manipulate that. I'd love to see some custom corners from Leeds United, even if it is just us getting the ball on the corner, Calvin passing it, getting it back, and then just laying it to someone on the outside of the box, and maybe a click, Pablo interchanging within the box there, passing it within the box, through the lines. That's what I'd love to see. The last 5 of the first half, as I said, I thought were very good. More shots, a lot more overlapping. And obviously, the goal came, Eddie Nketiah, which I just loved. I loved that goal. Fox in the box, Mr. Ian Wright. That is what you're going to get with Eddie Nketiah. Just sharp, quick, terrifying defenders, and do you know what, that wouldn't work as much in League 2 for me. You've got physical, you've got imposing centre-halves that might be able to put off the centre-forward, but in the league that we are in, there are a lot of ball-playing centre-halves, and I feel someone like Eddie Nketiah, someone who's going to harry, someone who's going to hustle, someone who's going to really make the defenders feel uncomfortable, as he would do for this Leeds United side. If you had someone like Eddie Nketiah coming up against Cooper or Ben White, they'd be terrified, and I'm sure they are in training week in, week out. He is the key ingredient for this Leeds United side, because you even see Costa's game up, Clark's game came up as well when Nketiah started getting on the ball. We started bringing in Clark, started bringing in Costa. You could see the movement, and we started driving balls in, whipping balls in with pace, whipping balls in across that first the near post, and the last post as well. We were doing things like that, and it was all because of Nketiah's movement. Nketiah's movement was becoming problematic for that, for the defence of Salford, and that's what we need. I do feel sometimes with Pat Bamford, the defence get to relax a little bit because Bamford's movement isn't as sharp, whereas Nketiah is so quick. There was one ball in the second half, which we'll get onto the second half in a bit, where it was lumped backwards. Eddie chased onto it, lofted it over the goalkeeper and was unlucky, but his pace just to get there, he was so unlucky. And you could see he wanted that second goal. He's a proper striker, and he's everything we need, and he's got to be starting in the Championship alongside Costa. Berardi, I've got Berardi down here, foul on the 46. 6th, 7th time. You know, it's just a coherent thing with Berardi. You know, he got the goal, so I'm going to lay off him a little bit, but it is foul after foul after foul, and it does become a little bit frustrating. Click. Once again, I thought throughout the game, Click grew a little bit. At the start, he looked tired. Listen, a wonderful goal. But yeah, the Nketiah goal happened. The Berardi goal happened. Lovely little anticipation from Berardi. And then the Click goal was absolutely brilliant. You know, that's what... And it was nice to see him do that to the Leeds fans when Leeds started singing 40 yards or 50 yards. That was lovely to see. I also loved the little bit of shithousery we got from Eddie Nketiah when he scored the goal and he went over and was doing that to the fans. It reminded me a lot of Dwight Gale against Leeds. You know, when he scored at the South Stand, I think it was from Newcastle actually, giving it all of that. And that's what you need. You need a little bit of nastiness, a little bit of needle where he's going to wind up the opposition. Bamford came on, and you know, I don't really get why he brought Bamford on and Harrison on. You know, if you're going to play them, you know, in the fixture at the weekend, just keep them off. We don't need that. We don't need worst case scenario for either one of them to get injured, but you brought them on. Bamford, you know, he had a really good chance straight away, and it just looks like a lack of confidence. It really does, and it's so weird after that Bristol game where he was brilliant and, you know, putting the chance away that he had, and you know, his conversion rate was so high. Suddenly he's gone off the boil again, and it's too frequent for Bamford for me. You know, when you've got someone in the lines like Eddie Nketiah, who's sharp, who's focused, who's hungry for game time, hungry for goals, I think you've got to be starting Nketiah. You know, Bamford did come on and he did look a little bit sluggish. You know, they started getting more of the ball, and I feel that, and I think that's because Nketiah was consistently closing down from the attack, from the front. He was giving that back line absolute chaos throughout the game. You could see it; they couldn't get rid of him. He was like a nuisance, a bad smell. Bamford came on and he only had 20 minutes odd, you know, so I'm not going to slate him so much, but you sort of see the patterns of playing, and Leeds were on the back foot a little bit. You know, we weren't defending a lot from the front, which I feel is important in this Bielsa system. So he obviously had the chance. You know, it's a poor finish. You know, he could have squared it. Click was in on goal, or just put it round. He just sort of sluggishly passed it against the keeper's leg. I just feel, you know, someone like Eddie, for example, in that situation, he's putting that away, and that is what we've got to focus on. And that is why I'm praying Bielsa starts the both of them. I think it's that ruthless. I would start the both of them at the weekend. I don't think he will. I think he'll start Bamford and Harrison, but I would love to see Eddie and Costa start, because I thought that their little understanding was brilliant. Another mention as well, Ben White. I mean, the key highlight was when during a game he was in a sticky situation and he Maradona'd two players and nutmegged another player whilst doing the Maradona and won the free kick. The kid is class. He's absolutely class, and so far, even above Costa for me, he's the signing of the summer. He's been amazing. He's everything we needed as centre half, ball playing, confident. You know, win a header. He's just excellent, and I love watching him. He's a brilliant footballer to watch, and I love centre-backs like that. He's excellent. Really, really top-draw performance again. Kiko Casilla, you guys know my thoughts. I don't have any excuses for it. You know, I want Leeds United to win the league. I want us to get promoted. That, in this division, it's not good enough. Flapping for balls again, missing balls again. At the end, the 81st minute, when he comes to collect the ball and Berardi saves his skin, you know, he misses the ball completely. They header it, it nearly squeezes in. Thankfully, Berardi cleared it. It's continuous, and it's going to happen again. The only reason it didn't happen at Forest is because Forest didn't have anything. There wasn't any problems. I feel, you know, he's just a mistake waiting to happen for me. And I know that I'll get a lot of dislikes on this, but I come on this channel to speak what I think. I'm not going to sugarcoat it like I know other channels do, because you guys want different opinions, and this is my opinion. I do not think he's good enough. I'd have loved to have seen Meisler start tonight. What's he about? You know, is he going to infiltrate this side? Is he going to be confident? You know, 6'4", 6'5". He's an imposing figure. He's a young lad. We've seen a lot of young lads come into the fruition in the Championship. You know, Dean Henderson, Jamal Blackman. You know, we've seen a lot of these players come into the Championship. I'd have loved to have seen that tonight. Didn't start him for whatever reason. Maybe not good enough. But then Casilla needs more minutes. I think he needs as many minutes as we can for him to get confident. But what we're going to get with Casilla is he's going to come for everything. He's going to come for everything, and that's what you're going to get with him. But the thing, people are saying this all the time, he's going to come for everything, you just got to deal with it. Okay, that's fine. I'm all right with that. As long as he gets it, that's fine. Because if you're coming for something, you've got to be 100% confident that you're going to get it. And if he's not 100% confident he's not going to get it, don't come. Don't come and collect. Because then you're putting your defenders under absolute extreme pressure, which is what he did at the end a couple of times. You know, some decent shot stopping. You know, it wasn't extremely amazing saves, but some standard saves, you know. Theatrical, but some standard saves. But listen, 3-0 win. Excellent in the second half. I thought our fitness came to fruition. Leeds were way too fit for them, and that's lovely to see. We're absolutely overriding them, overloading them on the left and right. Eddie Costa, for me, got to start. That's my personal opinion. Helder Costa, I thought he had a brilliant game. He went down a little bit at the end. I hope that's not anything serious. I'm praying that's nothing serious. But yeah, he was excellent again. Him and Eddie's link-up play was a joy to behold. I loved it. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you are a sponsor who wants to get involved in sponsoring all Leeds TV, make sure you get in contact with us via our social handles or our email addresses. Remember guys, like and comment in the section below. I'll see you in a bit.